So today the fun continues, and I have a plan. Boy, oh boy, do I have a plan today. And that is to get some mob drops up and rolling. And today we're going to be utilizing more than just mob drops from a mob farm. We're going to be creating ourselves a hostile mob network. Yes, that's exactly what you heard. A network with mobs. Like, they don't actually exist, but in a simulation. Let's get started with this. Now, bear with me. I do have a reason for getting into this versus a normal mob farm. And that is because there's actually several resources that we can get from this that we don't actually get from a normal mob farm. So let's take a look at the mod, right? It's called Hostile Neural Networks. And it's pretty awesome. You get these predictions here that are generated after you've killed enough of a mob and applied it to a data model. That gets ran through a simulation chamber. It sounds really complex, but it's not, I promise. It's literally just 2 machine blocks, and it's super simple in the processing. However, these mob drops can also drop these other predictions. So you do get the, like, I would say, like, raw prediction, and this is like generalized, as you can see right here. So this is the good stuff. This is also kind of the good stuff. So this will be very specific to the mobs, and some of these have more than one. As you can see, a sheep will drop some of these, but this can do some other things as well, crafted in some automation, right? In some crafting automation. For example, we can make iron, carrots, anything that we really need on demand, we can kind of craft, including prismarine shards and all kinds of good stuff, especially cobwebs. So all of this is available via just general overworld predictions. Then we have the nether mobs. These can make blaze, gold, basically anything like that that we need, including blaze rods. Of course, blazes can do blaze rods. And then, of course, we have the crazy part, which is the fact that you can just craft a nether star without ever needing to kill a wither. Yeah, you can do that with this mod, which is pretty crazy because all you really need to get to this point, right? Because you can actually craft this. So you can start off with regular mobs and then craft your way to this without even needing to kill any end mobs. And you could do this way. Pretty awesome. So that's why I want to get into that. And because of that, I built a little castle area. Now, this is just one of a couple, and it may look a little thicker than it actually is because I want to be able to hide some things behind walls. And I think that's really nice. I like hiding some cabling. I like having the machine face me, but like not have to see all the wacky cabling going on. Unlike my area that's over here, where there's cables exposed all over the place. Now, during this process, I may find that I'm going to probably need more power. So that is going to be something that we also potentially work on, is just improving our power. I mean, overall, we do have a pretty nice amount of power, but it is half being used by our ore miner. So we are going to potentially need to upgrade that. Now, let's go ahead and get into this mod. Now, all you really need to get started, well, is a deep mob learner and just a model framework. Pretty cheap, honestly, in, you know, with how much you're going to be using this. The deep mob learner you only have to make once, and then we have the model framework itself, which will end up getting slotted in here once we end up programming it. So you can put this in your offhand, and whenever you kill a mob, it should program this framework. You can see right click on an entity to build a data model. So once we find the mob, we can of course right click on it, put it inside the deep learner, put the deep learner in our offhand, and then just use a sword or whatever weapon to kill the mob that's in that. And we need to do that to level up the model. And the higher the level, the more loot you get, honestly. Now, to be fair though, that loot does come at a cost. It does come at a cost of more power. So the higher tier the model, the more power it's going to cost later on to do all of the processing. Now, it is nighttime, but I don't necessarily need it to be nighttime because I'm going after Vindicators. That's right. For right now, at least at this point, I'm going to go after Vindicators because those can drop emeralds. And at the moment, I don't have a great way of generating emeralds, especially for these villagers, if I do plan on using villagers in the future. So at this point, I think Vindicator is pretty good. Now, the next thing I'm probably going to go after, because I'll probably end up doing more than one of these today, Potentially we'll go for wither skulls. I think withers are definitely worth going for as well. So you may be wondering, where am I going to find Vindicators, like, to be able to kill enough of them? Well, I believe a shipwreck, or not a shipwreck, a pirate ship should be the place to do that, just like the one that I had found a few episodes ago. Except this time, I'm looking for a new one, which is only apparently 600 blocks away. And I'm using, of course, the elytra that's on the gliding that's tied to my chest piece, which is fantastic, by the way. No durability elytra. Oh, if only the world would just load fast enough. But yeah, with that, there should be a spawner on this ship that has Vindicators. So I'm thinking this will be a good way to level up this data model. Aha. And here we go. So this is perfect. So I just need to get on the ship and be very careful. And hopefully this actually has one on it. Let me pop up here real quick so I can definitely get rid of these guys. All right, so switch this over to the killing curse. And I'll get these guys cleared out. I think it's under the ship, though, the people that I'm wanting. So there should be one here. Oh, nope. This is like the skeleton captain. Yeah, this guy is not who I'm after. This sounds like I'm doing damage elsewhere. There we go. There may not be a spawner down here for what I'm looking for. Oh my gosh, but these guys are here. Yep, nope, this is just a skeleton one. Oh, I'm gonna have to find another one. Similar to like the first one I found. You know what? I just realized I didn't actually break that spawner, right? I broke the loot chest because I was like, you know what? I might actually need this Vindicator spawner at some point. And wouldn't you know, it's still here. So I ended up getting back here, and this is exactly what I need. All I have to do, I guess, I hear something spawned. All I have to do is just break these lights, and this should start spawning Vindicators. Well, that was a lot easier than I thought. Did it spawn one in the water? Yeah, I mean, I should be able to break this, giving it a bit more room, because I've built complete spawner like killing chambers around these things before. Aha, yeah, right here. So there's one. So I have the data model, and now all I have to do is technically kill this guy. I know that this guy could easily kill me. So let's just pop up here real quick. Get to safety. Now, I'll throw this in here. And all I have to do is keep this in my HUD. And I'll be able to see in the top left how many kills I need to do to finish this off. Now, I think I can use this still. Oh, nope, that right clicks. So I'll probably just end up using this sword. But 5 remaining. 5 remaining. Oh boy, this should be good. Now all I have to do is get this last kill, and there we go. We have a basic model. Now basic is just fine for me. I am completely fine with a basic one. It's going to use less power, and it'll still generate some resources over time, which is definitely worth it. And like killing an extra one, as you can see, only goes towards upgrading this. So I think I should head back. Let's go ahead and do that. That's going to be a thing. So I'm back. I have my simulation chamber, which these two machines are relatively cheap to get up and crafting. You probably do this, I mean, quite early on, so long as you found some diamond and have some power going. But right here, we have the simulation chamber. This is what's going to actually simulate the mob drops. So let's go ahead and get some pipage over to this so it gets some power. It does take a lot of power. It has a pretty big buffer. I mean, that's 2 million right there. But I can throw this in, and this is going to see cannot be simulated, missing input. We need a prediction matrix. So what exactly does it mean? Well, we actually need some sort of compound for it to make the predictions on. So hostile, and that is the prediction matrix, which yes. Now this gets a little bit more expensive, right? Because we are going to need glass, gold, and lapis. So, but this should last a little bit. And later on, we can definitely fully automate this. So once it's in there, you can see launching runtime. It does the whole like program running through thing, and it may or may not succeed. So as you can see, sequence prediction failed processing the results. When it fails, you get this overworld prediction. If it was to succeed, you would end up getting one of these I would say like pure predictions or actual predictions. And the chance of it failing, right, is based on its tier. So whether it'll succeed or fail, the higher tier you have, of course, the more RF it's going to cost. Like this simulation cost is already 512 FE per tick to run this. But when it does succeed, like it just did, this can go into the loot fabricator. So I'm going to set this up right here, and I can put this in the loot fabricator, and I can select what I want. And I can go, hey, I want this prediction to turn into emeralds. And now I just got emeralds from that. And I didn't even have to kill the mob. Pretty cool. So of course I can't leave this without automating. I'm going to have to automate it. Now, this is going to need an importer and exporter, and this is going to need an importer and exporter. And I'm actually going to use refined storage to do this, which is pretty awesome because we have facades, so I should be able to cover this all up. Now, I'm going to need an importer on the top here of this one, and then I'll put an importer on the top of this one. And we're going to come back to this importer in a second because this is how we're actually going to get the prediction matrix in, and we should be able to set up some autocrafts for this. Now, down here, we of course need an exporter and an exporter on this. And for right now, we just need to get them hooked up, and we'll worry about the importers going into this. So cables, I've already gotten pretty much everything lined up. So I just got to get this connected straight through and then run this all the way back to our base. Now, of course, with an exporter on here, this should be pulling things out. Oh, sorry. I completely got these backwards. Exporters on the top, importers on the bottom. Oh my gosh. Imports into the network. I always get this backwards, and I know you do too. Exporters on the top. This is sending items to the machine, which is what I want. And then in the bottom, wow, my brain. In the bottom, I need this. If I can get up here. There we go. Importers into the bottom. That's going to pull out of this machine. And there we go. Okay. Much better, much better. So yeah, this should be pulling the things out. Now, I do need to say that this right here, I need this to be pulled out of the system. But at the moment, we don't have this on Autocraft, and it's not producing at the moment. So to get this, I need to create a Autocraft for this. And it's going to be using glass panes. That's our first section. And then we need to say, all right, well, how do we get glass panes? Well, we need glass. And then we need a smelting recipe. So I'm going to have to send this over to be smelted anytime this pulls a request. And we're going to have sand, because as soon as we run out of sand, we won't have any. So there we go. We'll pull this over. And then this just needs to go into the back of this machine that we have set behind this barrel, which is a little pain to get to, but should work. There we go. So I'll put that pattern, and then all the other patterns just need to go into the pattern crafter. Now, as of right now, this won't craft on its own. It will not pull the request just because this is requesting it. If we don't have it in the system, we don't have it. So to get it to Autocraft, I'm going to have to use a crafting upgrade, and this should work. So once we have all the materials and a crafting upgrade, boop. As soon as we put this in, this will force the craft when this is empty. So at the moment, there's very little in here. There's 5. So as soon as I put this in, it should start crafting this. As you can see, it'll craft it into our drive, processing everything here, and yeah, start filling this up. So now that this is working, I need to say where these predictions, where this prediction is going to go. So I'm going to send the predictions into here and then have it selected for the emeralds, and then the emeralds are just going to get generated. That's automated. Now, how do I cover these up? Well, refined storage has a fancy facade that hopefully will work. I'm going to be using stone and stuff. So let's get refined. And you can see right here, this is the cover that we can use. So it's just an iron nugget with like stone. We can make a couple that are stone. We can make a couple that are, let's see, this pulverized material. Actually, that does not work. It does not like that. So I'm going to just use regular vanilla materials. Yeah, this cover's a little broken. Maybe it will work if we place it. Oh no. Yeah, no, that's for sure broken. Okay. Well, we'll plug this back in. We'll use these. Because at least these work, right? And then shift on those. And we can hide this. So you won't even be able to see that this is going on. This is fantastic. Oh, I love facades. Now, my ultimate goal is to have a lot of these basic resources on tap, basically generating an infinite amount of them. Now, I know I could probably get most of this done with crops or bees. That'll be something that I definitely work on in the future. But early on, it's fun to try and figure out ways of doing it without using those major resource generation mods. So speaking of that resource generation, inside this chamber, now this is still producing that overworldly prediction stuff, right? Well, that can be used, like I had shown before, for several different things. So mob, or let's see, hostile. This could be used for a lot of things. We can make spider eyes, which we don't really need. We have infinite of that. But iron, I mean, that's a lot of iron for a couple of predictions. So anytime we would need that, we could just make it. Prismarine shards, if we ever need to come across those without having to go hunt for them, we can do that. And then I believe gold is underneath this tier. So yeah, that'd be really nice. Also, having some blazes running, a blaze model, a pretty high blaze model, like advanced. Here's your percent chance, by the way. So self-aware is a 99.5% chance to generate that. And you could probably get self-aware pretty quickly with a blaze. Having that run, I know it's going to require a lot of power, but it might be self-sufficient on power just because you can use it as a fuel source. So I did take a look at some of the other things that this can offer, and witches are actually really nice. They can do glowstone, redstone, and sugar in a pretty significant quantity. But getting witches, not the easiest task in the world. We have to wait till it's dark. We have to kind of hunt for them, or we can mess with this mod. So there is a mod called Gateway to Eternity, and there's this thing called a witch pearl. This is basically like a way to summon in mobs, which is kind of cool. I'm kind of interested. So I click this. A portal spawns. This is kind of sick. I've never done this before. And yeah, and mobs show up. I probably need a sword. So I'm going to click the data model, try and get this inside, and I have to kill these witches. So there's one down. There's another down. There we go. And as you can see right there, it starts to spit out more, which is perfect because it allows us to get our model filled up, which is great. I put this in my offhand. You can see the model filling up and the quest's complete there. But as you can see, we have 3 waves. So this is just multiple waves of witches. How cool is that? And you do get rewarded at the end, by the way, for doing these. So the faster you can kill them, the better overall the loot's gonna be. It's pretty cool. And I almost wonder if you could put this inside of a mob spawner, and if the mob spawner could just automatically kill these really fast. Because there are multiple tiers. As you can see, just spit out all the loot. Look at that, we're already leveling up our model past basic. And I think this is the final round. Oh my goodness. I love how every hit of this, like, ends up killing the other ones. This sword is pretty powerful. Pretty sure it's has some sort of leeching ability. All right, this should be the last one. And look at it. It throws out all of these items. Oh my gosh. And that's how you could easily level up your data models. So I'm going to test that exact thing where I'm going to use a mob slaughter factory. I'm going to spawn this in right here and see if the slaughter factory can do this. Like for sure, the slaughter factory will be able to kill the skeletons, right? Right? Maybe they'll come into the range. Like maybe if this thing was ranged appropriately, it would work. It is powered. It is running. It's just, it only does a process every, like if this was upgrade potentially. Let's see. Will it take out one of these guys? Ah, it did. So it took out both of them. Ooh. Maybe like zombies would probably work a little bit better, right? Yeah, because they're going to come after me. They're going to get deleted. Think that this is within range? Yep, they do work. So you could probably farm this really easy. Like you could even have something potentially place it. I don't know if I have to place this. This could be a cool way to farm mobs. Look at that. It just spits out all of the loot. And it's actually loot rolls. That's pretty epic. Now, over the next few days, of course, we're going to be getting into the unobtainium and all kinds of stuff and unlocking some cool stuff there. But I want to start working on getting some really basic resources just in an infinite supply, right? So like gravel, sand, all of those like basic materials, definitely need to get those on tap ASAP because it's going to be a very, very big help in the future. So with all of that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. I hope you learned something new. Of course, I always learn something new every time I jump into the world. But of course, I think it's time to thank the supporter of today's video. And that huge thanks is going to be going to Sir. I think it's supposed to be Sir, S-I-R. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your amazing support, by the way. Over on the Discord, becoming a Discord premium member and supporting this channel, getting access to the sub-servers, and all kinds of amazing stuff. So guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, click that subscribe button, comment something awesome down below if you enjoyed this. Maybe let me know some tips and tricks maybe you've discovered yourself. I don't know, I'm always down to learn some new things. And of course, guys, I will see you in the next episode. And as always, thanks for watching.